Hey, what's up, everybody? This is another Under the Street Lamp podcast with the Nella fellas. I'm your host, Adam Mendoza. DB Cooper couldn't make it today. So today in the house, we got Mr. Anthony Citric Campos. And we also got Mr. Ricky Montez in the house.
Yo, what's up?
Appreciate you fellas for coming through.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man, for sure. So usually I start with small talk, and when I rewatch, I feel like I'm kind of just having, what do they call it, diarrhea of the mouth. I'm just running on.
Yeah.
So today, for you guys, I'm really happy to have you on. It means a lot. You came through, so I'm a little bit more structured. Yeah, man.
Notebook, yeah, you good?
Yeah, so I'm gonna run through a couple of questions and just give you guys both an opportunity to answer. So, Mr. Ricky, my first time meeting you, so I'm gonna throw it out to you first. What would you say at least led you or started you in the direction to becoming an actor?
I don't know, I think I've always wanted to do it growing up, and then when I came to LA, when I went to college and stuff like that, I kind of seen it a little more. I kind of think why I moved here was for that, but to go to college and then met some different managers and agents, got me, hey, go to acting class, go to acting class. I started liking it. Yes, it was depressing when you weren't, you're not good at it when you start. Then after a while, you start getting auditions, getting callbacks, and it's just more driven, and it's actually more fun. And that's, I think, just all of that led me to actually work really hard at this.
So that's where the work ethic came in.
Yeah.
So, but you mentioned, so at a young age, you kind of knew.
Yeah, I remember when I was at the dentist, this lady was like, "What do you want to do when you grow up?" And I was like, "I want to be an actor." Again, that was 15 or something like that. I didn't know or even did plays or anything like that. But I just said that.
That's what came up.
Kind of resonated with me. I've always played sports, so I wanted to be an athlete or an actor,
Okay.
And then I kind of just went full force with moving here. I'm from Northern California. I'm not far away.
Okay.
But moving here and really pursuing it, and I didn't know anybody when I moved out here. I moved out here when I was 21. Went to school, LA City College, and then finally I was doing some of the theater classes, and finally slowly met people in the industry, and then from that I obviously dropped out of school. And
you made the leap out here?
Made it.
I always have a lot of respect for people that take that will, pack up their stuff and say, no, I'm going, if this is where it's being made, I'm going to have the guts to go there. So kudos to you on that.
It did take a minute. I was 21 and not knowing not one person out here, just going to school, like I said, LA City College, getting those classes. And probably when I was 24, 25, I started meeting friends that you could trust. It takes a minute to even do any of that. So then met some friends I could trust, and met some different managers and agents. The manager that I have now, and he was telling me get this class, go to that class, go to this class. Again, it was just a sheet. Hey, take these classes, come back, pick one, come back. You're not ready. Pick one, come back in 6 months. You're not ready.
Wow.
Take some headshots. And it's I was clueless, and I just did it.
But you were doing the work. You were taking the steps.
Those are wrong. Those are wrong. Those are wrong. Those are wrong.
Yeah.
And then finally, after so many years, it kind of just started clicking, and now it's it's clicking, But that's after so much time.
Dude, absolutely. Yeah, okay. That's a really good answer, man.
Yeah.
I like that, man. I appreciate you going all the way with it. So Citric, I know a little bit about you. I don't want to speak for you though, but I know you did, because you're a man of many talents. I know you've done many things. However, but specifically for acting, what do you think drew you, at least to consider it and take it as an avenue that you're okay, let's do acting?
When I first got my first role, when I got my first role, that's what I was I think I can do this.
So they kind of was a direct booking type deal, or?
Well, because what happened is that as growing up, I always wanted to be entertainment, right? So I've been a big fan of music, always loved music.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting into doing music, hip hop,
Yeah.
But I got into acting later on, I want to say, because I started doing music in 1990, 91, 92. We were doing tours and all kinds of stuff.
The golden age.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? When hip hop was hip hop.
Agreed. Yeah.
Not to take nothing away from now, but it was just a different era.
Yeah.
And around 2004, I got called in for an audition for the movie Idiocracy with Mike Judge. And that's, and I wasn't going to do it. I was really nervous because I had never done acting before. But it was something always I wanted to try it one way or another. But I just never really thought about it. It just happened. And then I did the movie. That was my first, major, that was my first role, really, because before that, I had only done background, on a couple of projects with Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg on a video, and then another one with Damien Chapa and Tiny Lester on a movie called El Padrino.
I've seen it.
So you know, so that was like we did that one like in 2002, and then the Little Ghettobuster was in like in 1992. So I hadn't really like done acting, but I've been on sets, you know, before. You know? And so after doing Idiocracy, I was just like, man, this is pretty dope, man. You know, it's pretty clean.
And especially to be part of such a, what would you call it? I'd say, I mean, it's like a iconic movie. I mean, especially if you rewatch it now, today, it's like, oh,
now it makes a lot more sense.
It's
than when it first came out.
It's deep, bro.
When it first came out.
No, definitely.
When it first came out, people were like, man, I just lost brain cells watching this movie. But then they just watched it. But now the same people that watched it 10, 15 years ago, they tell me, they're like, damn, man, that movie was like on point, man.
Yeah, seriously. So, okay, so I'm gonna, man, okay, I appreciate you guys, man. You guys are good guests, man. I appreciate that. Okay, so the next one I have down, okay, what was the first big lesson that you learned the hard way in the acting game? First big lesson you learned that you learned the hard way, that you didn't see coming.
I mean, for me, you know, coming here, you know, then I met friends, you know, like, again, I was younger, mid-20s, and then some of my friends were on TV already, so we'd go out and always, you know, go to the clubs and stuff like that. But then a hard lesson is when you have an audition, you'd have to go into auditions, you know.
I remember.
And then you'd have, like, you go in for big shows or big things, and if you're not prepared, you look terrible at it. And I think those are a couple hard lessons I had to, like, endure with, you know, I'd rather go out with my friends and not really put the work, and then you go and do the audition, you're like, dude, what am I, you know, you're like, what am I even doing? And the only time I have ever had bad auditions is when I don't put the work in beforehand. You know, if you put the work in beforehand, you're like, okay, you did great, but you're not right for the role,
right.
and that's fine, you know. But if you just like don't know what you're doing, and you're like, oh, I need the paper, you're like, oh, this is gonna be all bad. Second guessing yourself, even walk. It's like playing a sport. If you go at a free throw line and you're like already second guessing, I'm gonna miss this shot. You're gonna miss the shot, you know. But if you're like, yo, I'm gonna sink it, then you're gonna sink it. So I think that is like the hard lesson of like wasting a couple years with like my friends and stuff like that, you know, and not really focusing on the work that needs to be done.
Yeah, man, I get that. So it was really there came a point where you, like you maybe what I'm gathering is you were auditioning, you know, getting some wins, and there came a point where you started to not pay as much attention.
Yeah, exactly.
And you went and kind of winged it, and like, oh, I can do this.
Yeah, but it wasn't that good, you know. And I feel like even on like when I got my SAG card, my friend was like, he was big at the time, so he was gonna judge the Hooters show. He's like, yo, Vegas got it all already. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't. I got this. Like, it was a small part on the show Greek, but they were gonna Taft-Hartley me, and that's to get my SAG.
Yeah.
So I was like, I really got to do this. You know, I really got to do it. And that was like the best decision of my life, is not partying that one time and doing it. But yeah, but ever since then, it's just you know, chill. You know, and just try to focus on what I got to do. I mean, I have a lot of auditions all the time. And I just knock them out, get them done, and do them properly.
Yeah, man, there you go. Because I can relate in that when you know you gave it everything, and if you don't win that particular way, look, it's okay.
Yeah, because it's funny the process doing it, you know. And then, but yeah, when I was younger, it just I think those were the hard, you know, fails, whatever.
So everybody, pay attention. There's some gems here. You know what I mean? So now, Citric, something that you a lesson you learned the hard way, didn't see it coming in the acting game.
Not joining SAG right away when I had the chance. Like for real cheap, you know.
Okay. Oh wait, because your first role was a huge joint.
Yeah, so I didn't know nothing about the business, you know. So it's like I jumped in, and then next thing you know, they're talking about SAG, and I'm like, you know, like SAG, what's SAG? You know, like I didn't know nothing. You know, I had no age, no management at the time, and so I learned that the hard way. You know, it's like, you know, when the opportunities there, jump on it, because after that I had to pay like, I don't know, like double up or almost triple. Yeah. So it's expensive, and then and the same thing like Ricky, you know, not preparing, man. You know, because sometimes it got to a point where I was just like really comfortable to where I got too comfortable. You know what I'm saying? So you never could get too comfortable, because then, you know what I'm saying, that's when you kind of start messing up. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so it's like now, you know, when I go to an audition, I want to be prepared. You know. I call him Ricky because he's an acting coach, you know.
Coach actors, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'll go through the audition with him, and you know, and he'll school me on shit, you know, like that, man. Other than that, it's preparation, man.
Yeah, it's all prep.
Preparation,
Yeah,
man.
it's all prep.
You start seeing that with people that are that are working and doing well and things like that. You start hearing these common themes, and it kind of seems like no matter what you're doing, right? Preparation is like that one key. It doesn't matter if you're building a house, you're about to frame a house that day. Just preparation is everything, and good answers, man.
Yeah, it's like really intricate on the craft too. Because I was working with my buddy this past week. We actually had to audition for the same show, different roles. But he's like, yo, I need you to be my reader, because he knows I coach. I need you to be my reader. And this guy's a big actor too, but he's my boy. And he was just, even like when he was watching the TV, he was like, dude, when I was watching the TV, I felt like I was watching reality TV. Because the character is like, he's talking to him, this kid, and then he's like just watching TV like this,
Oh, so he's transfixed on the TV, but having a conversation.
But even in the show that the TV that he's transfixed on, he's like, in his head, he's like, I'm watching reality TV. Because his character is like, maybe ex prison guy, funny, over the top, like that. So even in his head, he's just like the little stuff. He's like, yeah.
That was the decision he made. Yeah. This is what
it's so important. So much in the camera when you do that. A lot of people that just want to get into this business are so like surfacey and just will read the lines and not really go so much in depth with the thing. My character was like an ex-military, so I even had some little bit of nuances where I was ex-military. Even though it's a comedy, still. Those little things like, boom, with the sister talking, like more standing up a little straighter, whatever.
Yeah, posture's going to be paramount.
Whatever it was, but you have to really go deep in that, and a lot of people don't really, they want to read it, they think it's like cool to be on this podcast, but it's a lot of work, as he knows. Even when we shot the Ghettobusters driving up north, it's not cold, it's cold, it's hot, it's not as like glamorous as, it's still work, you have to.
Thank you, yes, agreed 100%. That's a key point. I think a lot of people, like you said, perfect word. It's not as glamorous as people think. It's still work.
It's a job. It's a regular job. So it's nothing. It's better than the next person. Like it's just a regular job that we have to go do. The hours may be different. The work is different. This is different.
We just happen to enjoy it.
Yeah, you enjoy doing this.
It's because the majority of the people just see all the glory already. When they see you on the red carpet, they see you, interviews and stuff like that, but they don't see all the other bullshit that you have to go through. You know what I mean? To get to that point, But at the end of the day, it's like everything. You have to enjoy what you do.
Yeah, you have to enjoy what you do.
Because I know a lot of people that they tried acting. I can't do that. I can't be around on set all day and waiting around. Like some people just have to be like constantly acting. And when you're on set, it's a hurry up and wait game.
Exactly.
So a lot of people are like, I'm not with that. I can't do that. Yeah. They lose their patience and they get out.
It's long hours. It's really long hours. It's like kind of hard. It's like tedious work, kind of. Yeah. It really is.
Yeah. So you have to want to do it.
Yeah, you have to want to do it. Yeah, you just got to be something you really want to do.
Yeah. There was who was it? I think I said this before. I don't remember if it was in a movie I saw or a book I read, but. It was a coach, an acting coach, and he's talking with the students, and it was like first day of class, and he tells anybody in this room who does not absolutely need to become an actor, who does not need to act, just let it go right now.
Just leave.
Was it Barry? The show Barry?
Wait, the assassin. The actor who's an assassin. Yes, it was. Great call. Yes.
That's a good. Yeah.
That thing just rang so true to me when I heard that. I was like, yeah, because. If you don't need it, who's gonna put themselves through so much of this rigor? You have to need to do it. You know what I mean? Or at least it resonates with me.
Because every majority, it's like you get turned down majority of the time. It's like you go and you're like, okay, no, because you do so many auditions and you don't get all of them.
Yeah, after a while, it's like, why are you putting yourself through all this rejection? You know what I mean? And then you're like, I gotta do this. Man. Okay, so moving forward, it's gonna be. Let's see here in the game. Okay. All right, here's a good one. Because we got all actors in the room, so I put my little wish list together. So, if you could go back in time to give yourself one piece of advice, what would it be?
Man, that's a good one.
The time machine is fired up.
Yeah.
You can pick, and you can only give yourself just one piece of advice.
Man, the only advice I would probably give myself, man, is be patient. And enjoy the process, man. Yeah. Because a lot of times, there's things ain't going the way like we'll have one project that we just got off or whatever. Then you got a dry spell or whatever you want to call it, And then, you know, sometimes you go on all these auditions and you're not landing stuff, and sometimes you get, it comes a time
Depressing, huh?
depressing, yeah, and it's just like,
it's crazy.
but just say a year later, you catch something and it's something big, and now you're working it, so you kind of got to look back and be like, man, you know what I'm saying, like, there was no point in worrying, there was no, you know, like, in other words, like, don't stress on shit you can't control, man.
Exactly,
just enjoy the process and just, and study your craft, that's it, you know, study your craft and be the best, you know, I could do, you know, as far as that. But the main thing would be patience. You know what I mean? It's like just be patient and enjoy the process, man. Because time goes by quick too, though, man.
Real quick for the audience, I think that, you know, what Citric just said right now, I think that's for life, regardless of what you're doing. That's a gem right there. That's beautiful.
Yeah, I think for me, I wish that it was like I had the mindset of my 30s right, like now that I had in my 20s, and I think I would have been, you know, further along, I guess, you know what I'm saying? I could have been like this in my 20s, but again, it all is like timing too, you know. But what if I wasn't right at the time to handle all the stuff with the show at that age, you know, like, you know, it's God's timing it too.
Yeah,
you know
everything's timing.
So like maybe I had to learn these little like you know, these adversities, you know, to get to that, because like ever since I had my kids and everything like that, stuff just been, it's like hits. Even they hit. You know, my son's about to, his episode on 911 Lone
The whole
Star.
family's working.
It's a family, family thing.
My baby is on a commercial right now, Visible Wireless. He did a Best Buy one with us. Some Oscar-nominated director casted us in it. Like, it's crazy. Like, it's but this is now, you know, in my 30s, you know, opposed to the 20s. But I think just, you know, getting, you know, just working hard from early on, I think that would be the time travel thing I would tell myself. Say, hey, if you work harder now, you would, you know, deviate all this crap in your 20s, and you would be where your 30s are. You know, but I guess
I can relate to that.
It all works out. But again, you're young and you're stupid. You have to learn the hard way. Always.
There's lessons to be learned as you go along. So.
There's that quote though, like you say, you know, you're young, so that youth is wasted on the young.
Yeah.
You heard that one?
Yeah.
Where it's like, yeah, man, okay.
But I guess it does work out, right?
I think everything works out in the end, man. You know what I mean? It's just whatever path you're supposed to be on it, you're gonna eventually get on that path. You're gonna get there, man. But you gotta go through little obstacles.
But again, it's not impossible to be like an actor that works if you just. But you got to know it's going to be. Could look at from 21, you know, 38 now. Like it takes a minute.
Well, once you put your mindset to that, you know, like this is what I want to do, and then I think that's when everything. Once you get serious, everything just kind of starts like triggering and just falling together.
I agree. Mindset is key. It's kind of like they say that humans that were our mind tends to create faces out of things, right? Inanimate objects will make a face out of it. So it's gonna be a good one. So. So the idea is that if we change our mindset, like I'm going to be an actor and an actress, so you really believe the moment you really believe you can in fact do it, all of a sudden the things that you might have brushed aside, not paid attention to, you're now open to it. Your mind can make a body out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
And okay, and like I'm interpreting kind of like my feelings of what you said, where things just start happening. You're kind of like, hey, you know what? I started hanging out with just actors now, and I have a mentor now, and
and you're a little looser when you go to these meetings and stuff. You talk to like the producer. It's not like you're just chopping it up normal. And then like, he's like, yo, this guy's actually cool. You know, it's like you have to be really comfortable. And then I think that's with growing and learning. You know, the hard part.
That's key too. Realizing that we're peers in a set. So some people's like, oh, I'm in there with this huge director. I don't know this way, but someone who goes in like, dude, this is like a project manager. We're gonna get this completed, so that when we can look back at it and say, yes, we got this done the way we wanted to, and we're coming together as a team, and that mindset changes a lot of the idea of the hierarchy and the pressure of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. That was real talk, man.
Let me look to these notes here. Okay, here's a fun one, or it could be anything you want it to be, but okay, what is a challenge in your life, or just something that stands out to you, that you know for a fact would not be an issue if you had chosen a different career path? Something that just jumps out, was like, you know, if I wasn't an actor, if this isn't what I was doing, I know for sure this wouldn't even be an issue. Maybe something good, maybe something bad, anything, but...
I mean, if I was an actor, I probably wouldn't live in LA and have all this crazy traffic, these high prices. I don't know.
How dare you? How dare you?
No, I don't know. It's just, I honestly, I don't know. Like, this is all like I do. You know, it's hard to see anything else. You know, even my whole family does that. You know, my kids do it. Everybody does it. So it's kind of hard to see.
Building their own empire.
But yeah, it's like I don't.
And you also started at a young age. You said early 20s.
Yeah.
You were already.
I moved out here for
Yeah.
that. Maybe I wouldn't move away from my family if I didn't choose this and I could live up there in the country or whatever it is. But
I think I understand. I think
yeah.
I do get that because for someone who went at a young age, I also understand your other answer regarding the going back. Yeah, that makes sense for starting at such a young age. So like, hey, so what do you think? He's like, I don't know. This is all I've been doing since
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. So
yeah, the same thing. I feel like this is all I know, really, man. Because I've been doing entertainment for so long, since like 1992 professionally. We put out our
you've
first
been on
record.
stage.
that's
Yeah.
a minute, right?
Yeah, so it's like I don't know what else I mean other than growing weed, maybe.
For real, like I couldn't go to a job. Like I don't couldn't give anybody a job resume. Like, oh, here's my job resume. It's like an acting my headshot with the yo, what is this? I'm with those.
Mm-hmm.
I can go to Costco and be like, yo, can I get a job? Oh, let me see your resume. And they're like,
Yeah,
here,
no,
here's my headshot.
Like, have you
resume.
ever shelved any stocked any shelves? Like, no. Well, I did, but on TV. You know what I mean?
Here's my IMDb.
yeah.
Check it out. You see my qualified.
Yeah, no.
Like, these real cans are heavy. Those were half cans, and they were plastic. What is this?
Yeah, if I was to go to another, somewhere like they'd be like, well, where's your employment history? I wouldn't be able to get hired anywhere else.
Right on. Okay, I respect that. Yeah, you know what? Speaking of which, that leads me to another question. Because I do notice, in general, not as a rule, but it just in general, actors, they're characters, man. They're not your average person. You know, it's just something I've noticed. So okay. This is how I wrote it. Actors are an interesting breed. Okay, so how about an oh shit moment that you had with another actor on set or in class or an audition, but an oh shit moment you had with another actor, no names necessary, unless you want to put it out there, you know what I'm saying?
No, I think it was like recently. It wasn't like a oh shit moment, but like when Darius, because I didn't know who Darius was. Darius was the director. He directed Sound of Metal. He's the one that did the our Best Buy commercial. He was the director, so everybody's wearing a mask. And the whole day, it's all. He's like, all right, Ricky, I need you to do this. Feliz Navidad with the baby, boom, boom, boom. And at the very end, the other actor that was on set, he's like, hey, that's Darius Motter. That's the guy that directed Sound of Metal. I was like, oh damn, that's who we've been dealing with. That's like,
Dude, you got to work with. Oh.
and then the last scene, it was like, all right, Ricky, you're gonna have to like drop the iPad off, and then you're gonna have to say it's from my family. And I'm like, all of a sudden, I'm like, dude, can I even say that now? Like, 'cause it's like him, I want to be hella good and make it right, you know. And even though the spot's like 15 seconds, but that was like, oh damn, that was like I think the moment was like, oh damn, this is kind of crazy, right? You know.
Yeah, I mean, Sound of Metal.
Because I watched Sound of Metal in 2020 when it came out, and
Yeah.
I was like, this movie is dope. That Riz Ahmed's dope. And then working with Darius, even though it was just a commercial, I was like, wow, this is crazy. He picked me, he picked my wife, and he picked our baby Romeo to be in the Best Buy spot. I was like,
dude, that's not crazy. That was like meant to be.
yeah,
bro.
and
That was meant
that's
to be.
dope. Like, see, like people that you talk to, like that's in film, that say Darius picked you. It's like that's actually they're like, oh damn, that's like he picked you to be in his commercial.
Yeah.
That's like huge.
This is someone who puts great care
Yeah.
into the creating
I
their
was like-
scenes and.
Because again, I didn't know all day because he's masked. Everyone's masked, you know, except for the actors that one set, but they're all masked. So you don't know who's who until at the end. But I knew everybody was like, oh, Darius. You know, you could see everybody, all the crew doing that, like he was like the star. But then I still didn't know because he has glasses and a mask, and then that was actually really cool.
You can't recognize anybody.
Yeah, man. That's
It's
everywhere.
super cool though, super cool.
Nice.
So that was like I think my moment right
All right.
there. That was that recent.
Cool. Citrix, what would be a moment for you where it's on set with another actor? It could be on set in acting class, but an oh shit moment with another actor where it's just, you know.
For I can't even remember. The only one I could really think of that was an oh shit moment for me was when I finally got to meet George Lopez.
Bad.
Yeah, I gotta say a double one because when I first got the call from my agent at the time, and she said about doing the pilot with George Lopez, and I was like, oh shit. You know?
Literally an oh shit
I
moment.
was like, oh shit, that's George. You know?
Oh my goodness.
And then finally, you know, when I got to meet him when we did the the table reading, you know.
Yeah.
Then it was another old shit. I was like, damn, this is real.
Yeah.
You know, at first I thought, you know, it was like a surreal. But man, you know, there's been a few, man. Also, you know, when I first got working on Idiocracy, you know, and you know, I didn't know Terry Crews was gonna be.
Bro, I know, yeah.
And so
you remember his cabinet.
Yeah, so you know, so we became real. I was like, oh shit, you know, so we came real close, and I would always clown with him on, you know, like, you know, after, because you know he had just done the White Chicks.
Oh,
and then,
bro.
you know, so then he had, and then I would clown with him with because you know he did the role in Friday After Night. I think it was Friday After Night. When he's dancing around his boxers,
he's like,
I want me some Tupac. Yeah, so I would always clown with him.
That's good.
I would always give him a hard time with him. And so it was like, man, but it was dope that he was just like cool like that.
Yeah, know? Man. Yeah, it's
real,
always
real
nice.
People, man. But yeah, those are a couple old shit moments. Like, oh damn, you know, like I can't even believe I'm here. You know?
Yeah, man.
That's great. It's good though. It's like a really, but you are there.
So surreal. Yeah, it's like surreal, but you're there. You're like, damn.
Yeah,
you know,
And it's not even like
yourself,
different.
man.
It's not like different either. It's not like they think they're better than you. You're just there with them. You know,
Yeah.
trying to help you do a project together and make it the best it could be.
And that's been the coolest part too, man. With a lot of actors, you know, big name actors that I've worked with them, that they treat you cool. You know, they like you're equal. You know what I'm saying? And I'll tell you, like, they don't like that thing about like, oh well, you know, he's higher name. Like none of that. When you're there, like it's just none of that like matters. It's like we're all equal, man. We're all hanging out. We're all peers, you know. And
to
shit
make,
like that.
make this project.
Yeah, exactly, man.
I'm with you, man.
Yeah.
I've heard that. Go ahead.
No, I was saying because I did a pilot, and my scene part, the guy in the scene, his name's Carmen Argenziano. He passed away recently, but he's from like the actor studio. He was in like Stand and Deliver. He has a million credits. OG actor. If you've seen him, you'd know what he was. But then like we were just discussing the scene that we had to do together, and he was like, "So what are your thoughts on it?" And I was like, "Oh, what about it's like this? Like those are good." He wasn't even trying to say, "Okay, this is how it's gonna be." Blah blah blah. It was like so like
he wanted your
receptive
real
of the scene. I'm like, "Oh damn!" And this fool is like the OG of every, you know, and he's like, okay, actor studio, you know, like it was really cool to see that, and he just gave me like advice. He's like, I was like, so what's some advice you would give me? He's like, just keep working. Always, you know, like keep always working, never stop trying to learn, you know. And this guy was probably like 70 at the time, you know. So, and you know, did all those movies with like huge actors and stuff like that. So it was really good.
And that's the thing, you never stop learning too in this business, man. There's always something new. You know?
There's always something new, yeah. Whatever it is about yourself, yeah, it's good.
I appreciate that, man. That's wow. I'm gonna go. Wow, good stuff in here, man. So I appreciate you guys' time. I won't keep you on for too much longer, but I do have one that's just something that I find fun. I saw it on another person's podcast, and I've seen it in radio shows, things like that, and it just, I love it. So for my own personal thing, if we could just, before we close out, let's go Citric first on this one. Have you ever had any kind of a supernatural experience, something you experienced that is just not easily explained?
Man, I can't say, well, I mean, shoot. I can't, you know what, I'll be honest with you, man, like, I mean, the only time I remember seeing some crazy shit was in Mexico, and you know, Mexico is always full of stuff, man.
Sure.
Or then you just maybe seeing a headless horseman, you know?
You saw something?
Yeah.
What was
it was just one of those things where I thought I was dreaming, but I wasn't. You know, I woke up in the middle of the night, and I heard, you know, I heard a bunch of noises outside, so I look out the window, we're staying at my aunt's house, and see a dude on a horse, and you don't see his head. And I heard stories like that, and I didn't say nothing until a couple days later. And I asked my aunt, and my aunt goes, was he wearing this and that? Like, well, yeah, he was just wearing like a long, you know, and he was on a white horse. And then my aunt started, goes, yeah, you know, that it happens around here.
So that was a thing that was known to that local area.
Yeah,
so
yeah, and I thought it was dreamy, but I just, you know, I don't know, I had to talk to my aunt about it. And my aunt goes, yeah, you know, that's normal around here. A lot of people see that.
Wow.
I was just like, what?
That's wild.
I was just like tripping out. So that's probably, I was maybe like about 10, 11 years old at the time.
All right. Was this like in a city? Was
It
out
was
like
in a
you
little
were
town, a little town in Mexico.
Okay.
Yeah,
I heard about that too.
Yeah. You see a lot of crazy shit over there, man. It's weird, man. I don't know if it's just Mexico or what, but you see a lot of weird shit.
My uncle said that too, because I'm Peruvian. So like my uncle was, when they were little, before they came over here, that he said he's seen something like that too, like in
headless type of horse.
like,
Yeah, I thought they were just stories, people
Like
post stories.
Latin America.
You know what?
But yeah, and then I thought I was dreaming, and then my hand was not. You saw what you saw, man.
Oh man. Okay. So Mr. Ricky.
I think one would be like you know that sleep paralysis thing where it's like you're sleeping and then you can't move. You're like, oh damn, you can't like. It's just like it was weird. It happened. It doesn't happen anymore, but when I was younger, boom, 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 and then it's like it seems like it grabs you and you can't move out, and then I swear not, like you have to. The only way I've ever got out of it is I was like pray, like please help me out, Lord, please, and then it's like kind of releases. I don't know what it is, I don't know how that thing is, but they say you see like a woman or like a man, like a dark figure, and I would want to say I've possibly seen it like one time, but again that's like. Maybe it's some like evil thing or something like that, but like if you do like believe in like God or something, it's
Real
really
quick, when you said there's like a and like it builds up, is this like an auditory? Is it
it's
something
like
you're feeling?
it's like a pressure. It's like boom, 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 and then you're just like stuck, And I like the only way I ever like when I think I had like 3 times I was like please Lord, please help me, and then it's like kind of like goes like it's gone, But like now, it hasn't happened for years. But when I was like younger, it happened.
That when you did that resonates with me. Where I don't have necessarily paralysis, but where I've been asleep and I feel something. Like I don't know if I feel it or hear it, but it's like something's pulling me, and I have to fight. Like no.
Yeah, it's like that, right? And then if you wake up, it's gone, But if it's like not, then it's like it's
wow.
But it's crazy. But yeah, I think that's like one of the things.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, people say that happens a lot too.
Yeah, well, I mean, the spiritual realm.
Evil's trying to get you or something like that.
There's good spirits and there's bad spirits.
Yeah, man.
That's just wild, though, man.
It is.
Yeah, but that hasn't happened, in many years, and it's like I'm good.
Yeah, just one thing. 2 minutes. 2
No,
minutes.
keep going.
All right. So one thing I thought about in regards to fear, and maybe interacting with someone or something that we're not normally doing. I thought about this. Imagine an animal, an injured bird, or a sea otter, and it's being approached by a human, and maybe it's in an area where there's no humans have been there for a long time, and it sees a human, and all the other otters run.
Mm-hmm.
But the one otter, maybe it's incapacitated, maybe it's hurt, or maybe it just is curious and it doesn't run. That will be the one that tends to have a relationship with humans. Like they say, that's how dogs came. It's like it was the dogs that fought the fear and were able to stay interacting are the ones that ended up becoming man's best friend and are able to do things and have this kinship that other animals do. Like we won't even eat dogs. It's just like no, these are So I brought that up just in the idea of us as humans dealing with fear. And I'm a believer. I believe in God. I believe the whole stuff. I do. And so I wonder sometimes if when we're being encountered with something that causes us to have fear, if it's our animal instinct, and if we're able to overcome that, I wonder what it might lead us to. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you overcome fear in any aspect, it's really not, what you're fearing is not that bad, you know what I'm saying? If you're fearing like walking into the room for an audition, at the end of it, you're like, yo, those fools are hella cool. Why was I even tripping? Or like anything, I play sports, so like even like taking the last shot or hitting the ball, it's like really you know how to do it, so why are you scared of even doing it, And then when you overcome it, you're like, yo, give me the last pitch for every game, I'll hit it, I'm not even tripping, I think that's what you have to do. And again, I think with acting, it's like you're waiting in the room, you're a new actor, scared, nervous, then you walk in the room still nervous, but if you're like, no, it's like, I'm just meeting the homies right now. So imagine I had to audition with you guys, now I go in the room, hey Ricky, go read this line, come back in 5 minutes and deliver this line. It's not going to be anything. I'll be like, deliver it in a second, but not knowing the whole thing is probably what's fearful too.
That's what sets everybody back though too.
Fear, fear. And really, it's not like
if you lose the fear somehow, you can overcome that. You can do whatever you want. You can do anything, But fear is what always, That's why I don't get on roller coasters.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, but I do get on them once in a while just to face my fears.
And after a while, it's like it's not that bad.
I got through it. It's what it is. But if we could overcome fear, man, we could do whatever we want in this world, man. We could become whatever we want, pretty much.
But it's anything.
Agreed,
You know? It's
brother.
like fear is like starting a business. You know, fear is becoming an actor, starting a podcast from the ground up. It's fear. It's fear. It's like, damn, is this gonna work out? If it's not gonna work out, who's gonna judge it or what or whatever?
Yeah.
And that's all like fear. But if you say whatever,
You just gotta jump in.
Jump
Just
in, and then you do it,
Just,
you have fun, and
feet first, whatever, man. Just
people
dive
are
in,
like,
man.
yo, this is actually a fun thing to do, fun
Yeah, man.
podcast to come on. It's gonna be, you know, it's not,
Heck yeah,
it's
man.
not bad anymore.
Dude, you guys are, man, I'm really, thank you so much, Ricky.
Yeah.
What did I call you earlier?
Rudy. like a movie, Rudy, like a movie.
But, Ricky, Citric, you know, thank you guys both for coming in. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, bro. Yeah,
This has been a good, I mean, honestly, it's been a really good podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. It's always good to see you, man. You know?
Right back at you, bro.
Yeah, it's good to see you. Jump on it again whenever you want. You know,
Happily,
holler at us.
I would happy to have you guys again, and I think the audience is really gonna appreciate it too. There was a lot of good things covered. So, all right, once again, this is an episode of the Under the Street Lamp podcast with the Nella fellas. I'm Adam Mendoza. We got Mr. Anthony Citric Campos.
Me.
we got Mr. Ricky Montez,
AKA Rudy.
And watch Ghettobuster on Tubi.
Oh, you know what? Real quick, you know what? I got so caught up in this awesome conversation. Real quick, you know, Ghettobusters. You know, I watched the first episode last night. You know, I really enjoyed it. I love the concept. Real quick, is there something that you would want to talk about Ghettobusters?
Honestly, it was like, we're all friends at that point, you know. So it was like just, you know, it was like we knew our characters. It was funny, but the most part we were all friends. So it's basically we're just working with our friends, shooting this with our friends, and it's just fun. It was a really fun show. It's silly, obviously. You know, it's like the Reno 911 beer fest type
This
vibe.
is what, yeah.
So if people like that type of comedy, I feel like they would like that, you know, that show in particular, you know, and yeah, on Tubi, it's on Tubi, so check it out. Everybody can check it out.
Yeah, Ghettobusters, I love. I mean, the show is it's so fast paced. There's never a dull moment. I really enjoyed
There's
it.
only 5 episodes too, and they're short, so you could just, you know, you could binge that and
You're right.
quick, you know, and
Binge in a couple hours.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's like opened up a lot of doors, you know, just for you know, for me in particular, and it's just a cool, you know, a cool thing, you know.
Yeah.
It was just a fun project to work on, you know, because
Yeah.
it was all like you said, it was all friends coming together, like, you know, like let's just do something comedy, you know.
Yeah,
See what works.
Can you just real quick? Can you talk a little bit about like the premise? You know, without giving too much away.
You want it?
I mean, basically, it's, you know, the whole Ghettobuster thing is a spoof off of Ghostbusters, but instead of hunting ghosts, we're hunting burnouts.
I couldn't have put it better myself.
That's all it is.
We're hunting down
We're hunting
burnouts.
down burnouts, and we're changing them and shit.
Yeah,
you know
making
what
the
I'm
hood a better
saying? Yeah,
place.
we're making the hood a better
That's
place,
that's
man.
essentially what it is, and then,
So we're ghetto superheroes, basically.
I love it, man.
Yeah, and it's crazy. We had a small tight budget for the first 5 episodes, so we're talking about getting a season 2.
Yeah.
So hopefully that could work with this. Might be international distribution for us. So
Nice.
it's crazy. It was like we did it in 2019, pilot, and it was just going to be one
It
little
was supposed to
thing.
be just for YouTube.
Yeah, just for
It was
YouTube.
just something that
One
was
little
just,
thing, and then
just to have fun and just, you know, just
Oh,
to get
okay.
something out. Yeah.
Just because it was like, let's just shoot something just to have, just keep making some content, keep working.
Okay, now I understand saying friends, like these are, you know,
Yeah.
all in the industry together, you guys know each other, like,
Yeah.
let's do a project.
Yeah, up north, Falcon, they have the crew and everything like that. So they put it. It's still put together like a nice production with what the means we had, and then
I was
They
gonna
use the
say
Reds.
that. Yeah, because
Yeah,
I was
they use
say
the Reds
when you
on
mentioned,
that.
you know, it was, you know, on a smaller budget, you know, independent. The production value is really
yeah,
good.
they had Reds. We used
Yeah.
Reds, Black Magics. So we had the proper stuff, all the
Yeah.
sound gear. Everybody had they just came together to collaborate on that thing with what they had to bring to the table. You know, whether it was Tyler, the sound guy, John, they wanted to jump on board. They thought the concept was good. Everybody thought the concept was really cool. And then from that one episode, it ended up reshooting the 5 episodes.
Deanna stepped in. Deanna Mullaney, she stepped in, and then she was able she was able to just like start pushing it to people and then
Yeah.
checking it out, and was able to put a budget together. You know,
Yeah, better budget.
it was just like, man, you know, like people were like started getting interested, like, oh man, this is pretty
And she's
dope,
been
man.
putting,
Like,
yeah, put it like after the fact, like you know,
Yeah.
the red carpets and stuff for us, and like the interviews and stuff. Like she's putting out that all together. And that's why I think it helped. Cause I'm more like reserved, you know, like reserved. I wouldn't really care to like, oh yeah, let me go talk about myself, you know, more like that. But like, I think with that, you know, her like, oh yeah, do this, and it's cool, you know.
Well, you know, thank you for coming out. I appreciate that, man. Knowing that you're a bit of a reserved person,
Yeah.
thank you for being so, you know, so candid and honest here
Yeah.
with us, man. Dude, I appreciate it. I'm sure the audience does. Yeah. So, real quick, Citric, tell the audience where they could find this, find Ghettobusters.
basically just Tubi, you know, download the app for free. We always tell people, man, you can watch it for free. You don't have to go to HBO and all that, you know, pay your subscription and everything.
Yeah, man.
Download the app for free and watch it for free, you know, and check out the page on IG, Ghettobusters TV series.
Oh, okay, you know, I'm gonna give
Yeah.
you guys a follow. Ghettobusters TV series on
Yeah.
IG,
On IG.
and on Tubi TV. Make sure, if you don't have, come on, Tubi TV,
Yeah.
I have it. I've been watching it for a minute. Ghettobusters on Tubi TV. Gentlemen, once again, thank you for coming
Well,
through.
thank you,
Oh, real
man.
quick before we close it out, tell people where they can find you, your Instagram or wherever the best place to check out your work.
Yeah, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that. Big Citric, you know, it's BIGCATRIC, and also my website, bigcitric.com.
Yeah, and, you can find me on social media, Ricky M7, or you know, Google IMDb. You see the projects that I've been working on, and yeah, and then DM Citric, and he'll do a shout out for Ghettobusters. Take a screenshot of Ghettobusters.
Oh, don't tell me, bro. I'm gonna be your next customer, G. All right, fellas. Once again, I appreciate you guys
Thank you,
here,
man.
man.
Thank you,
I'll see you
man.
guys soon.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys
Hey,
soon.
thank you guys. Bye.
Bye.